Hello, viewers. Today I will try to discuss a poem, and the title of the poem is The Strange Affair of Robin S. Gangam, and this poem is composed by Robin S. Gangam himself. Okay, so this poem, through this poem, the poet has tried to depict his motherland's circumstance, his motherland's values, his motherland's state of affairs. Okay. Besides this poem, through this poem, the poet has also tried to explore how his own motherland, Manipur, though he has not completely mentioned here about Manipur, but as he belonged to that place, as he was born in that place, that's why we are assuming that he is here talking about his motherland, Manipur. So he is saying that Manipur was once a princely state, and it was an independent princely state, and uh, it ruled on itself once, but nowadays they are in dilemma. So this poem is a politically charged and most ambitious poem, we can say. And through this poem, the poet has also tried to describe the conflict or the political turmoil in Manipur that is caused by conflict between the insurgent and the armed force. I think most of you know, if you are from Northeast, then you will surely know. But if you are from outside of Northeast, or if you are from mainstream India, or if you are from South or other rest part of our India, then you may not know. Actually, Manipur, some of the factions of Manipur state, they have been fighting for their own country, and they don't want to be a part of India. They don't want to be a part of Indian government, and due to that fight, or due to that ideology, many Manipuris or many people of Manipur, they have been massacred. They have been killed by the government parties or by the armed forces, police forces. Okay, so for that fight, many innocent souls, they have also lost their life, and many people, they even don't know why they are fighting. Will they ever get the justice? That all kind of thing, through this poem we will get to know, and the poet has magnificently explored and tried to depict that tragedy of Manipur through this poem. Okay, so this will be my complete personal interpretation, and I hope you will read the complete text, and you will try to do your own research, and you will do your, what do you call it, yes, own interpretation. Okay, so let me read the line of the poem. Not once can I say I am the captain behind the wheel of fire. I remember misplacing a bronze bell somewhere sometime. I left behind many untended herds. Rushing back, I discovered something had changed me. I can say I am this or that, that I envied the character of water and stone, that I envied the character of water and stone. As a boy, I was mad as sheep. Now I am enchanted into a god that the townspeople enjoy driving to the square. With a marigold garland between my horns, at 24, I invited myself to Bohemia, the kingdom of art, where people never grow old, was my affable neighbor. Moved by curiosity, I found myself lingering at backstages where painted girls and poor blind boys came to do their parts in the evenings now. I often mixed my drink with despair. Love, of course, made me entirely useless. This is the story of my people. So here the poet has tried to talk about his people, means his people of Manipur, how they have been struggling since time immemorial. So as Manipur was once a kingdom, so that's why they want to they want to get back that pride, that part of history. That's why they have been fighting. But is that fighting worth? So that we will get to know through this poem. We saw suspicion in the fields. Hatred sprang and raised the crops. Now they go to the gloating neighbors, begging, bowls in hand, finger pointed at each other. Their incessant bickering, backbiting, muffled squires, all pity. Our intentions are clear: slash, tear, and burn. Let fire erase all traces, so that suspicion cannot write our murderous history. Somewhere inside the labyrinth we met, lock horns and went our feuding ways. Our past we believe is pristine, even as we reaped heads and took slaps. When we rewrite make believe's history with a malicious intent, memory burns on a short fuse. As boy returns to Christmas, escorted by hate and fear, they take a circuitous route to outwit an enemy who will rebel too much in the birth of a merciful son. When these boys reach home, their dreams will come dressed in red. So in these lines, as far as I am understanding, in these lines the poet has tried to depict what has happened due to this conflict between armed forces and these rebellion groups or rebel groups, or according to them, that they are actually fighting for their right, and they term themselves as freedom fighters, that they are fighting for the freedom of Manipur. So that thing the poet has tried to depict here, that that fight of that insurgent group or that rebel group, will that be fruitful? They have been fighting this since time immemorial, but the result is still vague, the result is still unknown, and it is still futile. Rather, they have been hiding for some decades and they have not been able to come openly, and they are means they even do not able to return to their own home. Okay, and if they do, they come home in a red dress. Red dress means they only come home after the death, but not as a alive person. Hands filled with love, I touch your healing breast like the beaten up past. Scars appeared on your body. I asked who branded the moon skin of my love. So here, in this lines, the poet might have been trying to say or trying to delineate about his motherland. That means the poet is saying that his motherland was full of love and full of emotion, but now the poet is saying that it is utterly ill, it is utterly unhealed, and it has been exhausted to see this bloodshed, this fight, this blood feud. And the poet is saying that who branded the moon skin of my love, means who branded the moon, the who moon means who had done this bloodshed, or who had done this tragedy to his motherland, who used you like a toy doll. And the poet is saying that who has used his motherland like a toy doll, and my hands return to me stigmatized with guilt when I turn with heavy heart towards my flaming country. The hills woman scream your name. So the poet now is saying that his motherland, which is filled up with hill, and in this hilly place, in this hilly region, all the native women, native people, they are screaming the name of motherland, and but they have got nothing but negative reply from the soldiers. And the soldiers with black scarves or black mufflers, they are just like a mime arts according to the poet, and they turn them in seconds into stars. Means they, whenever they want the army, they can kill people, and they often kill in suspect. And the poet is saying that for the trucks carrying the appliances of death and devastation. So here the poet is saying the trucks of army, so or the trucks of defense, those all trucks are appliances of death and devastation. And for the eager rescuer in his armor car, for the first visitor to the fabled homeland, the graves of youth who died in turmoil are the only milestones to the city. So here the poet is saying that those who died in this war between the insurgent and the army in Manipur or in his motherland, these graves of youth who have died in turmoil, they are the only milestones to the city of his motherland, and nothing else. But the hills lie draped in mist. But the poet is saying, but still the hills of Manipur, or the hills of his motherland, it still lies draped. Means it's still dressed in mist. Instead of the must of your being, I inhale the acid smoke. So here the poet is saying his motherland is now still inhaling the acid smoke. And explosive and pyres with cargoes of sand and mortar, Mammon came to inspect the city. He cut down the remaining trees and carried them away like cadavers for dissection. Morning papers like watered down milk sell the same bland idea. So here the poet is saying that in the morning too, if we turn the paper of turn the newspaper, then the same thing is always repeated. That is rape, extortion, ambush, traps, confession, embezzlement, vendetta, campaign, sales, marriages, the usual. All the same thing has been described again and again in the newspaper. So the same thing has been going on. So that thing the poet has tried to say. There in his motherland, there is talk on the street in dark commerce in homes, words caught by the heirs of the restaurant. We honor the unvarying certainty and pay routine homage to silence. But after listening this all thing, after reading this all thing, the poet is saying that all people are still dead. They are paying routine homage to silence, and they are doing nothing, and they are helpless. They can do nothing. Everyone has correctly identified the enemy of the people. He wears a new face each morning. So here the poet is saying everyone know who is the enemy of the people, and that people or that man, he wears a new face each morning. And freedom is asking yourself if you are free day after silent Morris day. Number 3, uprightness is not cursing, touching anything publicly. Integrity is not drinking. Worthiness is contributing generosity to a new faith, to buy gun for unleashing ideological horror. So here the poet is saying that whoever who has taken up guns and whoever who is living that ideology for the separation of Manipur, or according to the poet, that is nothing but ideological horror, because that is not understood by many people, but they have just taken up the gun and they have started to fight. Service is milking the state, and when you can live no more, to start burgling each other, to so that we can become paragons of thievery. Chastity is forbidding our women from exposing their legs. Purity is not whispering even a solitary word of love, so that it will not be mistaken for unpardonable obscenity. Nothing is certain: oil, lentil, potato, food for babies, transport the outside world. So the poet is saying here that nothing is fixed now, because because they are living in some kind of fear, because if they go outside, who knows, they can be suspected, and if they can be doubted, then they can be taken to the police station or to the army camp, and they can be interrogated for this insurgency, like that. Even fire, water, and air are slowly becoming commodities. Patriotism is the need of the hour. So here the poet is saying that now the real thing is patriotism, and patriotism is the need of this hour. And patriotism is preaching secession and mourning our merger with a nation. Patriotism is honoring martyrs. So the poet is saying that the real thing is the real patriotism is to honor, to respect the martyrs who have died, who died in confusion, and who have died in confusion because they have no idea why they have taken up gun and why they are fighting and what is their ideology, and what will happen if they fight. So they have died in confusion. So if we show the patriotism, then we should show patriotism in that way. Then only that will be the true patriotism. Patriotism is declaring we should preserve native customs and traditions, our literature and performing arts, and inflicting them on helpless people. So here the poet is saying that the true patriotism will be that if the people of Manipur will declare that they are now trying to preserve their native, their priceless custom and traditions, and their literature that is utterly offspring and unique, and they are performing arts, and if they are trying to help the helpless people. And patriotism is admiring the youth who fondles grenades. Patriotism is proclaiming all men are brothers and secretly depriving my brother. Patriotism is playing the music of guns to the child in the womb. Stones speak, the hills speak when you are finally fall silent. History, hunchback fried, why do we fear you, why do we love, hate, lie, conceal merely to enact you. So in my capacity, whatever I know, I have tried to give you the explanation, but my explanation will not be the absolutely correct one. So please try to take help from your professor or secondary sources. I may be wrong. At the last, the poet is saying, today I stand alone and acknowledge the left-handed gift of a man without a woman and a tiny land bound by fire, saved to an unexamined life. All that I have done and I have accomplished blindfolded, love, fear, anger, and all despair. The penitent, repentant years wear sackcloth and pours and leaves on its head. The sky dresses in straps. When stars appear, they hold up the sky like nuts and bolts so that the firmament will not fall. But we who sleep under the stars will not let each other dream. Love is also a forgotten word. So here the poet is saying that love is nowadays forgotten word in his motherland or in his place or the country where he is living, and the ability to suffer and the ability to inflict the utmost hurt on the person you love most. This is how I have known it. The festival of light happened during childhood. Today I'm again with widows who cannot light lamps anymore. Maybe the land is tired of being suckled on blood. So here the poet is very pessimistic and he is very depressed and despondent that his land is completely tired because it has seen so much blood, and it has been tired of being suckled on blood. Maybe there is no peace, the poet is saying, between the farmer and his fields. Maybe all men everywhere are tired of being men. Maybe we have finally acknowledged that, my love, how can I explain that I abominate loss when I'm gone? I would leave you this a life without mirrors and the blue or between pines and the winter sky. But where can one run from homeland? Where can I flee from your love? They have become pursuing prison which hold the man with criminal words. So here the poet is saying that, okay, yeah, my motherland is full of negative thing. My motherland is full of scars, but where will I go? I cannot go anywhere by leaving my homeland. The poet is saying that he cannot run away from his homeland because his homeland is the only heaven for him. It is the only place for him which gives him pleasure, which gives him mental peace. And the poet is saying that, where can I flee from your love? The poet is saying that he cannot get away from his homeland's love, and that's why he is saying that he cannot go anywhere except Manipur. He wants to stay in his motherland. Thank you so much.